application.
Will you abolish the House of Lords, and will it be in your first term?
Yes, we do want to abolish the House of Lords. I don't think anybody can defend the House of Lords.
You said you were going to abolish the House of Lords. Well, are you not now going to abolish the House?
I've said we need to change the House of Lords. I stand by that.
You voted for change, but what followed was chaos. Starmer pledged honesty, stability, and integrity, yet delivered reversals, quiet deals, and a Prime Minister who rarely gives straight answers. In a matter of weeks, Labour has drained more public trust than the Conservatives managed to lose in a year, and rivals are already closing in. This goes beyond flawed decisions or bad policy. What is unfolding is a breakdown of credibility itself. The question now is whether this damage is accidental or a calculated move. Let's break it down.
Let's go straight over now to the political correspondent of The Sun, Martina Bett. Welcome, Martina.
Good morning, Kevin.
Well, look, let's talk about your colleague, Harry Cole. He's written his excellent column in The Sun this morning, and his headline is "Flip-flop PM is all at sea as sharks circle." Taxes look like they may have to go up to fund a backtrack, a U-turn on benefit policy generally. Looks like they want to at least reinstate most of the winter fuel allowance. They're also going to cut back on the benefit cuts that Rachel Reeves wanted to make, the Chancellor. They're having to do this because the left of the Labour Party are complaining. But it just makes the Prime Minister look like a man of straw who just blows with the wind. Whatever you want, I can do it. As Harry says, you know, those are my principles, and if you don't like them, well, I have others. That sums Keir Starmer up. You never quite know what he stands for, but basically what he really stands for is I'll do anything to stay in power.
That's right. That's how Harry put it in his brilliant column today. You know, he dubbed Keir Starmer the Groucho Marx Prime Minister. And as you said, you know, he goes, these are my principles, and if you don't like them, well, I have others. And, you know, I think that's exactly the problem. And we've seen with this U-turn on winter fuel, you know, where first Labour threatened to take away the payment from 10 million pensioners, then backed off, basically has managed to alienate everyone. You know, they've taken the political hit, burned the public trust, and now won't even get the savings or the market credibility that they were aiming for, as Harry put it. So, you know, it's self-sabotage. It's quite pattern, actually, because as Harry, again, put it, you know, there's a long list of Labour.
You just saw Labour hint at cutting winter fuel payments, only to reverse course almost immediately. This wasn't confusion or poor messaging, it was a pressure test. Starmer's team was gauging how much hardship pensioners would absorb before resisting, and the moment backlash hit, he retreated. This pattern is familiar. He once backed public ownership of energy and rail, then quietly dropped it. He vowed to scrap tuition fees, then scrapped the vow itself. He voiced support for Black Lives Matter, only to later distance himself. Promise made, promise reversed. Again and again.
You have already talked about raising taxes on the top 5%. How much would you raise it by?
I've said that we should raise tax for those that have more.
Income tax, would it go up under a Labour government?
And then
national insurance?
No, I don't want income tax to go up.
The pattern couldn't be clearer. Starmer is willing to abandon anyone, pensioners, students, minorities, unions, if it earns him a better headline. This isn't about a single reversal, it's about a Prime Minister who governs by polling data, not by principle. Each U-turn isn't a correction, it's a revelation, showing exactly whose interests come first, and it isn't yours. Before we go any further, let us know if you're enjoying the video. If you are, like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more exclusive coverage of the major shifts unfolding in British politics. Now, let's carry on.
Because I think you were discussing this earlier with your previous guest, Simon, that it's a credibility crisis because, you know, now that they're looking at reversing with this winter fuel cut and then the child benefit, that could be a 5 billion hole in the public finances. And we know that the public finances are not going that well. Borrowing went up last week. So she's got very little choice but but to hike taxes. So it's very difficult to see how Keir Starmer will still have Rachel Reeves as his Chancellor by the time of the autumn budget.
They're now claiming there's a £5 billion gap in the budget, but don't be misled into thinking Rachel Reeves is the real issue. The real problem is a leader who repeatedly puts his Chancellor in the firing line, then pretends to be shocked by the fallout. Starmer lets her front the cuts, lets her take the heat, and then distances himself when the backlash erupts. And where does this road lead? To stealth tax increases, not the kind that affect powerful corporations, but the kind ordinary people feel immediately. This month alone, HMRC was directed to widen audits on the self-employed and small businesses. Starmer won't go after major energy firms, but he will tighten the grip on your side income. He promised no tax rises for working families, yet now relies on new enforcement labels to quietly drain the middle class.
If you vote against children getting free school meals, you're not going to find the solution to millions of children growing up in poverty. But on free school meals, a number of boroughs, Wales of course, and the Mayor do provide free school meals. It's a healthy debate in the Labour Party. We think that breakfast clubs, which is where all children at primary school have the chance to come in for support and for food before school, is the way forward. It's a healthy debate. But
that isn't fiscal discipline, it's fiscal betrayal. And Reeves isn't the architect of it, she's the shield being pushed out front to absorb the damage while the real decisions are made elsewhere.
Exactly right. And Andrew Neil wrote in the Mail over the weekend, and we're going to talk about, if we may, Martina, a kind of problem, I think, that this government is increasingly labouring with, if I can put it that way. He said that in 55 years of covering politics, almost as long as I have been, that he has never known a government, or indeed a prime minister, more prone to lying and gaslighting the public. That he said that in the past, in his illustrious career, you didn't go anywhere near suggesting that the Prime Minister ever lied, or that senior politicians ever lied. And yet, for Keir Starmer and his crew, it seems to be routine. He is not straight with us. This is a problem, isn't it? That anything he says, so when he says, yes, I will be, we're looking at the winter fuel allowance, and people misinterpret that as a U-turn. I'm not sure it is. We don't actually know what to expect from that statement, because you never know with this guy what the truth is. All he said was there'll definitely be some sort of announcement at the next fiscal event. I assume by that he means the budget. That's October. Going to be a bit late for the winter fuel allowance by then, if you think about it. But you never quite know what this guy means, whether he's telling the truth. Will this happen? Or is it just another headline hunting announcement?
Well, I think that's a real problem, because during the general election, and I followed Keir Starmer during the general election campaign, and he wasn't saying, he kept saying that taxes are not going up, but then in terms of public cuts that we knew were coming because we're already baked into the books, it would say that they wouldn't, that they would solve that by growing the economy. So they weren't really honest with the public then.
Andrew Neil was right, because this goes far beyond routine political spin. What we are witnessing is a deliberate strategy of manipulation, where Starmer avoids clarity not by accident but by design. He speaks in emotions while dodging facts, delivering lines that sound reassuring yet say nothing at all. We're reviewing it, we'll make an announcement, we won't raise taxes, maybe. These are not answers, they are reflections crafted to mirror whatever the public wants to hear in the moment. The real danger is that he relies on people losing focus, betting that by the time contradictions surface, the consequences will already be locked in and public exhaustion will take over. That is not poor communication, it is calculated misdirection. Angela Rayner may be hovering, but she is not the threat, she is the evidence of a deeper collapse. Starmer no longer commands belief inside his own movement. Unions feel abandoned, the left has been sidelined, local parties are muted, and even his senior team avoids scrutiny because they have seen the reality firsthand. This is a leader who decides in the dead of night, reverses by morning, and assigns blame by lunchtime. The Diane Abbott episode exposed that pattern clearly: a senior figure left exposed, followed by denial, then another retreat. If loyalty offers no protection, no one is secure. Labour no longer functions as a unified force, but as an operation driven by presentations rather than principles. And when the damage becomes irreversible, responsibility will not lie with those carrying out orders, but with the leader who never explained the destination. Can someone who shifts this constantly be trusted to run a country? Share your thoughts in the comments. How long should voters accept empty words followed by excuses? If you want more content like this, like, share, and subscribe for continued updates on how British politics is being reshaped. Until next time, stay alert.